Welcome back to the Smugsy Show. I'm Smugsy, your host. Almost every Wednesday we meet here to talk about important things and important people. We weren't here last week because we went camping to Letchworth State Park in upstate New York. It's supposed to take 8 hours to drive there, but we took the scenic route and it took 11. I highly do not recommend that. We also took our 8-month-old puppy Shady, and that made for quite a punishing trip, but the highlight was seeing a snake cross the road. If anything, because it really challenged me mentally to sleep in the tent that night. The snake crossed the road right outside our campground, a campground that I might add did not do justice to the park itself, Letchworth State Park, named after this fellow Letchworth who did a lot of good, including creating this park. The Genesee River is what creates the gorge that people say is the Grand Canyon of the East. Stunning artwork, stonework by the Conservation Corps after the Depression. Just a magnificent example of design, art, and nature. Tons of beautiful open public space. The campground, though, it taught me a lot. Let's just say that. It taught me a lot about camping and about myself. The lessons in camping probably seem pretty obvious, but if you have a dog and you choose the loop that allows dogs, you pretty much guarantee that every single campsite has at least 1 or 2 dogs, and that was the case with us. On either side, not only did we have a huge RV with lovely large families, lots of kids, they had dogs, and they were related. So we had 2 families that had parties every night. They'd bring over like a hot casserole or a bottle of wine, and there'd be kids running back and forth, and the dogs and the barking. And meanwhile, Shady had to be on a 6-foot leash. We had a little screened-in tent on a dirt patch under some trees. It was a struggle. But the snake in the road challenged me mentally, and it's a good thing because I need really all I have to face up to my physical challenges. Shady tackled me. That's what happened. She was off in the distance in a big open field, and I thought perhaps she might not come back. So I got pretty excited and enthusiastic in my calling her, Shady, come on, Shady, good girl, And she was pretty enthusiastic, and she is an 85-pound black lab with haunches like a stallion. And I don't think she's ever had this much runway, and boy, she really picked up speed. I mean, she was barreling towards me, and I thought for a minute, I should maybe hit the deck. And she got going faster and faster and faster, and I didn't think quickly enough because she hit me right in the leg. She didn't mean it, but I went flying up, came down, and sprained the whole right side of my body, so I'm limping. Wearing compression socks, icing my knee. It really puts you in a position of vulnerability, something I'm quite unfamiliar with, frankly. So to anyone out there who's struggling with mobility issues, who's injured, who's on the bench, recovering, Godspeed. And we got to be empathetic to the people who, are weaker than we are, because someday it could be you. But nobody's as weak, really, I think, as the escorts of Travis King. Have you heard about Travis King? He is a so-called U.S. soldier. I don't think he deserves that title, but he is enlisted in the United States Army, and the big news today is that he's in North Korea, being held in North Korea, on North Korean soil. Ooh, that sounds scary, doesn't it? Since we got Kim Jong-un with his big nuclear missiles pointing and all other kinds of missiles pointing here, there, and everywhere. Meanwhile, his people are starving. But the story about Travis King that really, really, really gets to me, and my message to Joe Biden, okay? Joe Biden, who I love because he loves the F-bomb, and anybody who loves the F-bomb, it's like a kinship with me. I don't care what you think. If you can say, something with meaning and throw the F-bomb in there, I like that. And that's what Joe Biden does. And this is my words of advice to Joe Biden about this situation in North Korea, is you got to find the people who are supposed to be escorting this Travis King to the United States. This Travis King is 23 years old, enlisted in the Army, never on a mission, happens to be over in South Korea, getting ready to deploy, I imagine, gets arrested twice for assault. He's in the slammer, right? Serving time. The decision's made to escort him to the airport, stick him on a plane, fly him back to the United States, where he will face a tribunal, right? He'll face justice, maybe a court-martial, maybe a dishonorable discharge. But we'll never know, because now he's in North Korea. And how he got there is that the escorts, right, the military people who were supposed to escort him, put him on the plane, send him to the United States. I don't know, maybe they had to use the bathroom, maybe they were stuck on their phone. The next day, this guy, Travis King, was part of a tourist group at the demilitarized zone that separates North Korea and South Korea. It's where, like, the big honchos meet and do these diplomatic treaties. How does that happen? How does that happen? So he's part of a tourist group in the demilitarized zone and decides to just make a run for it and jump over the border into North Korea. And we're supposed to rescue him? No, that's not right. That's not right. I think if he wants to defect to North Korea because he thinks he can find a better life there, all the power to him. Or better yet, what I think we should do, certainly not rescue him. Instead, offer him up as a trade for Evan Gershkovich. Okay, he's the good guy who Dictator is holding. You've probably heard about him, the Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich. He's 31 years old. He went to Bowdoin. He was just over in Russia doing his job as a reporter, reporting on the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, when he was arrested and detained on espionage charges. And he deserves to be rescued. So what we should do is this Travis King, offer him up, tell Fatty in North Korea, hey, send Travis King over to Russia, and Russia sends Evan Gershkovich over to us. It's like a trade, and what North Korea gets is they have a perfect propaganda opportunity. They can spin that story all they want. They can take pictures of this guy, Travis King, as far as I'm concerned, and make movies about him, how he wanted to defect to the United States. They can have at him, as far as I'm concerned. I think that's a good idea. We got to stop rewarding these people who expect us to, I don't know, make them some sort of movie star because they have a death wish. So that's my 2 cents on foreign policy. And for more insight, advice, friendship, see you next week. And until next time, this is Smugsy Girl signing off. Take care.